Hello and welcome. I'm Chai Hofilenya and this is your 6 p.m. wrap. The Philippines raises the South China Sea dispute at the Asia-Europe meeting or ASEM in Mongolia Friday despite objections from China. Philippine Foreign Affairs Secretary Perfecto Yasay says, quote, "The Philippines strongly affirms its respect for this milestone decision as an important contribution to ongoing efforts in addressing disputes in the South China Sea." Yasay adds, quote, "We call on all parties to exercise restraint and sobriety." This comes after Chinese Assistant Foreign Minister Kong Xuanyi earlier said that the ASEM meeting is not an appropriate venue to discuss the South China Sea. China pushes for bilateral talks with the Philippines, but Beijing refuses to negotiate unless Manila sets aside the recent arbitral tribunal ruling on the South China Sea. Former Vice President Jejomar Binay posts bail at the anti-graft court Sandiganbayan for cases in connection with the alleged overpricing of the Makati City Parking Building 2. This comes a day after the Office of the Ombudsman filed charges of graft, falsification of documents, and violation of the Government Procurement Act against him Thursday. The bail is set at 376,000 pesos. Binay's lawyer Daniel Subido says his client is eager to prove his innocence in court. Binay was hounded by corruption allegations heading into the 2016 elections. President Rodrigo Duterte brushes aside demands for him to give due process to suspects accused of involvement in the drug trade, saying the job falls squarely on the judiciary. Duterte says, quote, "They say we were not given due process by the president. You're crazy, I'm not the court." He also explains his decision to reveal prior to investigation the identities of police generals with alleged links to the drug trade was a, quote, "sacred duty to tell the Filipino the state of things in this country and simply the truth, period." This after hundreds of alleged drug suspects were killed during police operations and vigilante killings. In an interview with Rappler, Philippine National Police Chief Ronald de la Rosa says he doesn't support extrajudicial killings.
I never tolerate vigilantism.
Yes.
Ayaw na ayaw ko ng vigilantism. Ayaw na ayaw ko yung extrajudicial killing. Ayaw na ayaw. Hate na hate ko yan. Kasi yung mga taong gumagawa niyan, yung mga pinaka-duwag ng mga tao.
A truck plows into a crowd in the French resort of Nice Thursday night or early Friday in Manila, leaving at least 84 dead and several injured in what's called an attack after a Bastille Day fireworks display. French officials say the truck driver was shot dead after driving along Promenade du Anglais. The bloodshed comes 8 months after ISIS attacks on Paris night spots left at least 130 people dead. France has been under a state of emergency ever since the November 13 Paris attacks. Follow Rappler.com for continuing updates. Tom Hiddleston confirms he's in a relationship with Taylor Swift. Hiddleston says, quote, "The truth is that Taylor Swift and I are together and we're happy." He adds, quote, "That's the truth, it's not a publicity stunt." The two were photographed cozying up to one another in Rhode Island in the United States, just a few weeks after Swift broke up with DJ Calvin Harris. There were doubts that their romance was real, with some even speculating the two were shooting a music video. That's your 6 p.m. wrap. Watch our updates daily at 12 noon and 6 p.m. I'm Chai Hofilenya. Remember, tomorrow begins today.